One of the biggest problems with any motion detector is false alarms. So one of the biggest attributors is shock. How does Bosch reduce that false alarm of shock?
Yeah, it's a great point, Tom. We're talking about our new CDL2 Commercial Series Gen 2 detectors that now have a MEMS sensor built into them.
Wow, because we only had MEMS sensors in cameras and high-end electronics. So you're saying now they're in motion detectors?
They're in our motion detectors. We use them for a couple of different things. Namely, we use it for false alarm immunity and shock and impact resistance.
Okay.
Right, so today, this demonstration, we have a tower with 4 different demonstrations that we're going to be showing you.
Right.
But right here, I have a sledgehammer, 3-pound sledgehammer, behind where the motion detector is actually mounted.
Gotcha.
Right, so that surface vibration and shock happens at the PIR level.
Okay.
So if there's that spike in vibration, that PIR has the potential to go into a false alarm. Right?
Okay. Yep.
So I'm going to show you exactly how that works.
Okay.
Right? Just so that I can prove that it's powered, Tom, I'm going to open this. The motion detector can't see out of this plastic glass.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to open this, and I'm going to trip the alarm so that you guys know that it's powered.
Sure.
So I'm going to stick my hand in here. You see the LED
LEDs.
initiate.
Yep.
Now I'm going to close this so it doesn't see you.
Yep.
And I'm going to wait for that thing to settle once the LED goes off.
Yep.
Now I'm going to raise the hammer, and I'm going to drop it. And you notice the LED does not come out.
No.
So there's no false alarm. We know that shock and impact and vibration, depending on the G-force level, has the potential to put the PIR sensor in an alarm state.
Gotcha.
And that's just another way that we as Bosch have come up with technology to ensure that false alarms are not a thing.
All right. Now, I know there's a couple more we want to see, so let's take a look. You got it. All right. So now, we took a look at the shock, again, reducing false alarm. Now, on this side, one of the biggest problems that we come across a lot is tampers not hooking up, or hooked up properly even to a motion. So explain what those tampers are.
Yeah, Tom, there's a couple of different tampers, right? There's a cover tamper, where if this cover of the detector gets pulled off, that tamper goes into alarm, and it notifies the alarm panel, hey, someone's messing with your motion detector.
Okay.
That's cover tamper. Yep. There's also wall tamper. Typically, back in the good old days, 2 weeks ago, you used to have to stick a screw in the back of the little breakout tab. Okay. There was an actuator and a switch, and when someone pulled that detector off the wall, that initiated the tamper.
Okay.
Now with the MEMS sensor, intelligent tamper detection, you no longer need that extra screw. Okay. The tamper happens from the MEMS sensor itself. So being able to understand its own orientation, the detector can go into tamper if it's changed its direction by more than 3 degrees.
Okay.
So I'm going to show that to you right here. So right now this represents a normal motion detector installation.
Looking at that guy.
Looking at the LED, this is when it goes into tamper.
Okay.
If I turn this more than 3 degrees, you'll quickly see now it's in tamper. I can notify my end user, hey, someone's messing with your motion detector, you need to go fix it.
And you didn't do anything different to it. You didn't set up any tamper or anything like that. So if I never did it or forgot it, doesn't matter. It's going to be able to pick that up.
Comes standard with the MEMS sensor and the anti-mass version of the detector.
Now there's another one you need to show me.
Yep.
So now we're looking at how do we reduce false alarm and anti-masking of motion detectors. And can you explain that and how Bosch is able to do that now with this new motion detector?
Yeah, the CDL2 went through a little bit of a facelift here on anti-mask. We had some changes to our algorithms to give us false alarms when it comes to anti-mask scenarios. But really what we're showing here, Tom, is just the capability of what an anti-mask detector is. If somebody comes and covers your motion detector and it can't see the world, you got an issue. You're not going to catch the burglar when you're supposed to. Right? So this display here really is that simple. I'm going to cover this detector with a box or a hat or a piece of cloth or tape. We can also detect if somebody spray paints, hairspray, spray paint, silicone sealant, put it over top of that detector. If it can't see, it goes into an anti-mask alarm and it notifies the end user that, hey, we got a problem.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, what we're going to see here shortly here, Tom, is this LED light up.
Okay.
And it takes about 25 to 30 seconds for it to go into anti-mask. We don't want to do it immediately.
No.
Right? We always have people brushing up against things. We're dusting for cobwebs, things of that nature.
Sure.
So we have a little buffer time to make sure it's truly an anti-mask. Now, you'll see the LED is on. If I was the end user, I'm going back to my keypad. It's saying, hey, you got a problem at motion detector 1, 2, whatever, you name it. And you can go assess the situation and take care of it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Now we have one more yet that you're going to look at. Let's take a look at that. So now, what we're going to look at here is reducing installation time. And I tell you what, we did a really good job with the Bosch motion detectors we had, but now the newer one's able to do it that much better.
Exactly.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's a good question, Tom. I mean, from a Bosch perspective, we're always looking for, I always call them the big threes, right? We want to catch when we're supposed to catch. We don't want a false alarm.
Right.
And we want to make it as easy and fast as possible for our installers to be out in the field, install those detectors, get on to the next job, right? So obviously we have done a lot of things in the past to make the lives of our installers easier. Things like our removable terminal strip. When you're on an 8-foot ladder, you'll see our installers. They got big shoulders because they're up there all the time, right? We knew that this was a challenge. We have a removable terminal strip. You can pull it down, make sure you're making all your terminations appropriately. Stick it back in there, and you're ready to rock and roll. We have our built-in bubble level. Make sure everything's level from a horizontal and a vertical perspective. And then also one of the things that we don't talk about enough that we made a change in our commercial series is this little channel here that you'll be able to see. So in the event that you pulled your wire through the wall and you have to come out somewhere lower in the motion detector, you can feed that up through that channel and you have still plenty of room to make your terminations. So that's the back plate. If we take a look at the face plate here, we make it super easy, right? The instructions for the motion detector are printed right on the motion detector. You don't have to look at the manual. You don't have to go online and look how to do these things. It's printed right there. You can make all your adjustments for your microwave, your PIR, high and low settings. At our blue line detectors, you can look at pet immunity, look down lens. All of these things are super simple to change. One of the major changes that allows us a little less time for installation is those built-in EOL resistors. So for our friends that are using other manufacturers' panels, that's not a problem. We have those built-in EOL resistors, but instead of jumpers in the CDL1 detectors, we changed those to dip switches. So you don't got to have that little baggie of jumpers and you're up 8 feet in the air and you drop them and you never find them again. It's right there as a dip switch and it's super easy and simple to install. And then obviously when we look at our tried and true locking enclosure. When I go down here and I unlock this thing, I can pull it off, right? And then I stick the faceplate back on, it automatically locks in place and you're ready to rock it.
So it does make it simpler and easier, and Bosch is always looking at trying to make it better at the end of the day for the installer. But also, we look at the installer, but you also look at the end user, because less false alarms, less problems, less headaches down the road for the end user.
Bingo.
Awesome.
And if we can help both the end user and the installer, make them happy, catch the burglars when we're supposed to, don't false alarm, make things easier on installers to get in and out, that's what I'm looking for.
Gotcha. So if you need help figuring out what detector to use, you can always get in touch with Keegan at Bosch, but you can also come to the Mid-Chess website at support@midchess.com.